So the question is, the following table shows the breakup of actual cost incurred by a company in last 5 years, year 2002 to 2006, to produce a particular product. So we have a table over here in which we have years mentioned, year 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have been given the volume of production and sale units. That means 1000 units are being produced in 2002, 900 in 2003, 1100 units in 2004, and so on for the rest of the years. We have also been given the cost incurred by the company in these products. Like material, it is spending 50,000 in year 2002, then 45,100 in year 2003, and similarly for all the other products. So we have to read all the data from the table only. Reading further, the production capacity of the company is 2000 units. So maximum the company can produce these many units. The selling price for the year 2006 was rupees 125 per unit. So we have been given the selling price for year 2006. Some costs change almost in direct proportion to the change in volume of production, while others do not follow any obvious pattern of change with respect to the volume of production and hence are considered fixed. Using the information provided for the year 2006 as the basis for projecting the figures for the year 2007, answer the following question. So we have been given all the information till year 2006. We have to project the figures for the year 2007 taking base year as 2006. We have also been given a very important clue in the question that some costs, they are changing in direct proportion to the change in volume of production. That means if the volume of production increases, the cost also increases. If the volume of production decreases, the cost also decreases. While some do not follow any obvious pattern of change with respect to the volume of production. So those costs which are not following any pattern of change with respect to volume of production, that means there's no particular pattern. Like if the number of units is increasing, sometimes the cost might decrease or increase. So those costs, they will be taken as fixed cost. Okay. So the first task here is to identify which of the given cost over here they are fixed and which are not. So we'll go through the whole table. We'll check each type of cost, material cost, labor cost, one by one, and we'll check which is following a direct proportion. For example, for year 2002, if I'm checking this material first, if I'm checking for material, in year 2002 there were 1000 units and the cost was 50,000. In year 2003 the number of units is 900, so number of units has decreased from 1000 to 900. Similarly, the cost of this material has decreased from year 2002 to 2003 because number of units decreased. Then if we go to year 2004, again the number of units has increased from 900 to 1100 and the cost has also increased from 45,000 to 55,000. Okay. Similarly, if we go to year 2005, again the number of units has increased from 1100 to 1200 and again the cost has also increased. So yes, we can say that material is always following a direct proportion. That means if number of production units it is changing, then the cost is also changing. Okay. So we can say that this is not fixed. Okay, because those who are not following any pattern, they are fixed. For material in year 2002, number of units is 1000 and cost is 20,000. Okay. Then in year 2003, the number of units has decreased, the cost has also decreased from 20,000 to 18,000. In year 2004, again number of units increases, cost also increases from 18,000 to 22,000. Then number of units increases in 2005, it becomes 1200, cost also becomes increased, that means 24,000. So yes, this is also not fixed. Okay, labor. But when we come to consumables, we can see that in year 2002 the number of units was 1000 and the cost was 2000. In year 2003 number of units has decreased from 1000 to 900, while here we can see that in year 2003 the cost has increased from 2000 to 2200. Again in year 2004 the number of units has increased, so cost must increase while the cost has decreased over here from 2200 to 1800. Then again in year 2005 number of units increases while the cost decreases. So sometimes the cost is decreasing, sometimes it is increasing. There is no particular pattern that you can find between number of units produced and the cost. Hence this is fixed cost. Similarly, if you check for rent of building, it will also come out as fixed. Then rates will also come out as fixed, repairs as well. But when you come to operation cost of machines, with the number of units 1000, the cost is 30,000. 900 units, the cost has decreased to 27,000. Number of units is 1100, cost is 33,000. So this is following a pattern, hence this will not be fixed. while if you check for selling and marketing expenses, this will be fixed. So I can say that consumables, rent, then rates and taxes, then repairs, after that selling and marketing cost. Okay, so these all are fixed cost. That means in every year they will remain the same. So whatever is the fixed cost in year 2006, it will be in year 2007 as well. So we can find out the fixed cost in year 2007 as well. It will be the same as year 2006. So let me find the fixed cost in year 2006, which will also be equal to the fixed cost of year 2007, which will give me a total of 1400 plus 1200, that means 2600, 2600 plus 400, 3000, 3000 plus 800, 3800, and plus 5800, that gives us 9600. So 9600 will be the fixed cost for all the years. That means it will be in 2007 as well. Okay, in the question we have been asked what is the approximate cost per unit in rupees if the company produces and sells 1400 units in the year 2000. Okay, you have to find out cost per unit in year 2007, and number of units has been given to us as 1400 units. Why did I find this fixed cost for year 2006? Because here we were given that using the information provided for the year 2006 as the basis of projecting the figures for year 2000. That is why I have taken the figures fixed cost of year 2006. Now for the quantities that are not fixed, there will be some change in cost as per the number of units. So we can see that for material, if number of units is 1000, cost is 50,000. That means I can say that every unit costs 50,000, right? Similarly, you can check it for year 2003 as well. When number of units is 900, the cost is approximately 45,000. So yes, it is 50 rupees per unit. So I can say that 50 rupees per unit, it is the cost of which thing? Material. Okay. Similarly, if you find it out for labor, because labor are also not fixed, for 10,000 units the cost is 20,000, for 900 units the cost is 18,000, for 1100 units cost is 22,000. So it is roughly 20 rupees per unit. Okay, so 20 rupees per unit is the cost for labor. Okay, then which is non-fixed, it is operating cost of machines. So when there are 1000 units, cost is 30,000. When there are 900 units, the cost is 27,000, which tells us that price per unit, it is around 30 rupees per unit. So 30 rupees per unit will be the cost for operating cost, right? So if I find out the total cost in year 2007, either I can multiply every unit with everything with 1400. Okay, then I'll be getting the total non-fixed cost, then I'll add the fixed cost to it. I want to find out the approximate cost per unit and I'll divide it by 1400. That will be our answer. But there's a way to generalize the situation. For example, if I assume that there are X units that are being produced, okay, in year 2007. So if there are X units produced in year 2007, then cost of this material would be 50x rupees because X units are produced. Cost of this labor will be 20x rupees in total, and cost of this operating cost will be 30x, right, in total. So total non-fixed cost will be equal to how much? It will be equal to 50x plus 20x plus 30x, which gives us 100x. That means in a particular year, non-fixed cost will be total 100x. X is the number of units, and fixed cost in every year, it will always be 9600. Okay, so total cost will be equal to the sum of these two. That means 100x plus 9600. Okay, in the question I have been asked cost per unit in rupees if there are 1400 units. So total cost will be 100 into x, which is 1400 plus 9600 divided by per unit cost. Okay, so we'll divide it by the number of units, which will give us roughly 107. Option B will be the correct answer over here. Okay, you can solve this by yourself. Now let us go to the next question. Second one is, what is the minimum number of units that the company needs to produce and sell in 2007 to avoid any loss if SP per unit is rupees 125. So SP has been given as rupees 125 rupees per unit. Okay, we need to avoid any loss. That means there should be no loss, and we are looking for the minimum number of units. We already know that the total cost in a year, we just did it in question number 1, it was coming out as 9600 plus 100x. Okay, this was coming out as the total CP because we were getting this as the cost incurred by the company. Okay, now if there are X units produced in a year, then total SP, it would be 125 into X, because SP per unit is 125X. We need to avoid a loss. That means SP should be greater than equal to CP. So 125X should be greater than equal to 9600 plus 100X. If you solve this, we'll get 25X greater than equal to 9600, which means that X should be greater than equal to how much? 384. So the number of units produced must be 384 or more than that. So what will be the minimum number of units? It will be 384 only. Option C will be the correct answer here. So here we had to use basic profit formula, SP minus CP. Now let us go to the next one. Third one is, if the company reduces the price by 5%, it can produce and sell as many units as it desires. How many units the company should produce to maximize its profit in 2007? So now the price, that means the selling price of every unit must be reduced by 5%. So new SP per unit, it will be 125. When we reduce 125 by 5%, we'll multiply it by 0.95, which gives us 118.75 rupees per unit as the new price. Okay, we have to maximize the profit. Profit is always SP minus CP. You already know the CP, it was 9600 plus 100X, where X was the number of units. So if I find out the profit here, for example, if X units are being produced in a year, then SP minus CP would be 118.75X, because X units and SP for total of them would be 118.75X, minus CP would be equal to this much, right? So we'll be getting 18.75X minus 9600 as the equation for profit. Now we need to maximize this profit. So if we want to maximize the profit, I should maximize the value of X. What can be the maximum value of X given in the question? It was given that production capacity of the company is 2000 units. So for maximum production, we should produce 2000 units. Option E will be the correct answer. Let's solve the last one now. Given that the company cannot sell more than 1700 units in 2007, and it will have to reduce the price by rupees 5 for all units if it wants to sell more than 1400 units. What is the maximum profit that can be realized in 2007, provided that the company sells more than 1400 units? So company has to sell more than 1400 units, hence it will have to reduce the price by rupees 5. So SP now will become 120, right? Earlier it was 125. If we reduce it by 5, now it would become 120 per unit. Okay, here also in the question we are trying to maximize the profit. So profit is SP minus CP. SP will be 120X. For example, if I am producing X units in that particular year, minus CP, you already know the CP, it was coming out as this much, 9600 plus 100X. So when you solve this, you will be getting 20X minus 9600. In the question it is asking us what can be the maximum profit that can be realized in 2007. So to maximize the value of profit, we will have to maximize the value of X. What can be the maximum value of X? As per the question, it can be maximum 1700 units, because company cannot sell more than 1700 units. So when you put X equal to 1700 here, you will be getting option B as the correct answer, 24400. So this will be the maximum profit. So all the questions were very easy. The only point here was to understand which cost will be fixed and which will be non-fixed. So I hope the explanation is understood. If you still have a doubt, please comment. Thank you.